So the third marshal is to explain what? Is the three dargis. It all began to explain the three dargis, the relationship. It all comes down to, again, our effect on the Eivishter. That is what the discussion here is. So it identified the three levels, Bechlal, all in Ein Sof. From the bottom up, the Ratzon, the articulated Ratzon, where it's articulated that Avodas Hamata, I want Avodas Hamata, that's what I want. Then there's the Ein Sof, before the Ratzon. And then there's the Atzmos Ein Sof, where the Achlata, the decision, why do you want, is rooted there, and that's ultimately because Neshamas Yisrael, right, are rooted in Atzmos. So the Meshalim that he gave, in ascending order, therefore, what do the Meshalim all indicate? As we start from the bottom and work our way up, the existence of the Avodas Hamata, which is expressed in the Esasviras Agnuzis, the impression made upon the divine as we ascend, so the level there becomes more and more sublime to the highest state of possibility. That's the highest state. So from the bottom up, the Meshalim were the, okay, help me, the first marshal, the lowest marshal, the most articulated state, which corresponds to where the Ratzon is spelled out, this is what I want. Now go, please, and go ahead and do it. So that's what the marshal for that. So it's got to be, it's not, Ramad is sitting here, no one else is sitting at the table at this point. So it's you fellas sitting in the comfort of your living room.
Fire in the coal.
The fire in the coal, right. The second marshal, which would be the marshal for the level there is in the pshitas of the Ein Sof. So there, it seems, no, I need to stand corrected, that the third marshal is a deeper darga in Ein Sof Gufa, a deeper relationship. The marshal we had suggested was the marshal of, it's kind of rejected. L'chayra, it's not 100% clear to me. It's not 100% clear. Let's go back here. Be a gimel madregas. So possibly it is the third madrega. But it doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like it. The third madrega atzmos, that's it. There's no mishalim there. It's just achlatas atzmos and gemarno. So it could be this is in Ein Sof Gufa, a deeper marshal. Not a marshal of the fire in the stone, because it's still separate. It's still identifiable conceivably. The inyan, to make it clear, the inyan of fire is there. That's for sure. But the darga of Yechelis is no inyanim. It's a possibility. Yes, no. Doesn't have to be at all. And the marshal for that is a name. Because let's understand what the name means. I do not have to relate to someone. It can just be me, and that's the end of the story. So when a person is giving a name, what is being this chadish, in the words of the Maimon? That if someone will call him by it, and he should want to turn to that person, then it would happen. So as you pointed out yesterday, and you all were bringing this out in your discussions, the one hand, it is the most, that's the point, the most marginal. A person doesn't even need his name. And that's why Dafke, it's the expression of the deepest place, because he doesn't need it. The deepest place, the nefesh, which is not bound by any level, it just is, and it's not bound to any kind of tzir or expression, So that's the whole point, that Hashem, it could be, could not be, it's a possibility, it doesn't have to be. And it's only created, here's the pella of it all, that the name is, in its per se, is an absolute potential. It's only created when someone uses it. When someone uses the name, then it's something in your turn. That's Bechlauding of a name. But then he added, it's not just a name, which is, maybe doesn't say this, but as we all know, when a person turns with a name, he's called by his name and he turns. It doesn't have to be his name even. The story of as long as he identifies with it. The story of the Tzemach Tzedek, and he said Zayda, I mean, that was the same point. He identifies Zayda, so that's his name. So when he turned, Tzemach Tzedek, when the Alter Rebbe turned, as we said the story, so he said, oh, das is Zayda. And what did he turn with? With everything. It's Atzmizdik turn. But he wants to say that a name does something else. That a name also summons forth a particular gilui. He called Eibishter Chacham, Yimamshich Chachma. So the Esses Svidus Hagnuzes are 10 designated names. Should a Jew call me that way, then I will respond this way. And if he doesn't call me, it's as Shakespeare, Havdalah of Havdalah said, what's in the name? So I am Ephes. So that's a marshal of the Esses Svidus Hagnuzes, a deeper marshal. We're talking about Esses Svidus Hagnuzes, the Shemus. The Esses Svidus Hagnuzes in Ein Sof, speaking in Sof, is he did identify 2 levels. There's Akudim, there's the Esses Svidus Hagnuzes, there's the Akudim in Ein Sof, and then higher the Esses Svidus Hagnuzes as they are not even Akudim, but Yecheles. So Lechayr is talking about Ein Sof. And Atzmos, there's no marshal to explain the Yachas between anything and Atzmos. That's the decision of Atzmos. And Hashem's decision, because the Shamas are part of him. So that's almost like saying it's not a decision either. That's just the reality. But it is, because they decided that the Shamas should be a part of him. He decided because he decided. There's no why there. Let's just be clear. There's no why there. Why does God exist? There's no answer to why God exists. If there's an answer, then forget the God and worship the why, whatever that is. You got the wrong address. There's no why God exists. He is. It is. The moment we give a reason, it's not it. It's something that doesn't doesn't have to be. But Atzmos is Mochriv Amitzias, the words of Kabbalah, of Chakira. He's a being that must be. Even that's a definition. But at any rate. Okay, so let's gonna get lost in words. What are we saying? That the deeper marshal, more accurate marshal for the Svidus Hagnuzes in their highest place. Why should there be Esses Svidus Hagnuzes there? That's Achlatas Atzmos. But now we're describing the level of the Esses Svidus in their highest place within the divine, the most sublime, is the inyan of Yecheles. And this is so beautiful because it's saying it's all meaningless unless you call me by it. If you don't call me loving, then these names don't exist for me. They don't exist for me. These attributes don't exist for me. Was Chachma, was Bina, nothing. A Yid will call the Eibishter Chacham, and a Yid will emulate the Eibishter and make these attributes part of his life. And then they're mitzias. Then they're real. Meaning to say, then that is the way I truly express myself. You've made me truly express myself in Chachma and in Bina. This is not artificial. Chachma, Bina, that's me. But it's only me because you decided that it's me, because you made it me, because you called me on these names, because you emulate these. Deeper still, why you call me in these names? Ultimately, because that's how you're built. So you're going to call me and relate to me based on the way you are built, how I built you, then I become that. Now, why are you built this way? Achlotas atzmos. I mean, this is not neat, what first, later, cause, effect. Not neat at all. There's the Seder, then there's the Kavanah, which Hashem entertains before, hide in Zman, so it does come earlier. Lo pashut, think it through, think before there's some degree of clarity. Okay, so that's where we finished now, I think. Did we? We finished. Yeah? Correct? Did we finish Zayin? We did.
Yes, we did.
By a person, the marshal breaks down by a person, because a person, calling a person Chachma, it's their behelem. It's not a possibility he's a Chachma, it's their behelem. He's hardwired. Everybody has intelligence, everybody has all of these things. He's hardwired, which has no choice. But Lamaila, it's a possibility. And the possibility becomes real when the Yid relates to it and calls to it and sagt, Tate, Father, Avinu, Av, Arachim, and Rachim, Aleinu. So he becomes Avinu, and Arachim, and Rachim. Truly, not artificially. I'm just waiting for you to touch me, says God, like this. Every day, every moment, deeper. Okay, now Isches is a whole deep dive, friends. Hashem Yerachim Aleinu Shemechaven to the Kavanah. Poshet in Havana Vasag. So a kasha is coming, a big kasha, which I hope I understand the question, and I hope I understand the answer. And so do you. Yeah, so let's try it together. Heads up. Where's he going with this l'chayra? He's going with this to bring out that we should appreciate the inyan of shemis, the pshitus. The mile of the Eir in Sof in its pshitus, as opposed to the actual emergence of Esses Virus Agnosis. Let's see the question, which is already the Rotzendarg. We said before, we said in explaining the pasuk that like the water reflects the face, that's shown to be said, just like literal water, by looking at them, so the image of the face that's facing it appears in the water. So he said, the supernal waters, the simplicity, the beyond definition, revelation of Hashem, the Pshitis the Ein Sof. We said, Shadei Allah Osman das Vidus, Ponim, to the elevation of the lower face, which is our Avodah, Atzilus, and so on, and lower, Ein Sof. So what's the point? That Nase Bo'in Asvidus. So this creates within him the Inyan of Svidus, and there, not in a manifest way, but as a Svidus Akanuzas. That's what we said. Now, and number one. Number two, we said the important point now to get this clear. We asked how could that happen? Or more, yeah. We asked how could this happen? You remember he said that there's a Be'in Areich even between Be'ir and Nivra, which means Atzilus and us. Certainly an Ein Areich between Eir and Sof and us. Now, what's a little bit difficult to understand in the Maimon, because he answered there and said, because that is Kach Ola B'Ritzon, it's a Gzeira. really, that we should affect him. But we do. The net result is that we do. We become the same sug. Remember, we had asked why he brought that whole Havamin and rejected it of being in the same category, because the big chiddush is that God becomes in the same category as us. So that's why he invoked that mashal in detail, because it is in the end taka like that. That answer which he wanted to reject, without repeating it, you right? It's Gimel. At any rate, let's go here. The second point. And how is it that the Svidus can be impressioned in the Ein Sof? Because even before Halas before our Avodah, Yesh Shaychas the Svidus. There's a connection to the Svidus. Now, we had asked earlier, but that's true of water and a face, because they're the same sug. It's not true of Ein Sof and our Avodah, but he answered, well, God decreed that it should be. Okay, I'm just repeating what I just said a minute ago, in summary. But that result is, we becomes like the same sug, in brackets, taka bedugmas mayim, taka like physical water. The reason that the face appears in it, to the same category, the same realm. Therefore, the face can be seen in the water. So, where's he going with this question now? So the Ein Sof has a shaychus already. The Ein Sof has a shaychus already to what? To the inyan of Eses V'Sagnuzis. So the question therefore is this: the given shagam Eses V'Sagnuzis. Since Eses V'Sagnuzis upon him adin b'mayim, which is the impression there. Heimraki chaylis l'svidus. We're finished. What have we just concluded now? Their potential, their possibility. That's what they are. So they're not really there. They don't compromise the Ein Sof. Their potential, their possibility. So let's, before I go further, we've got to get this question with the good Lord's help. We have to understand why, because on the one hand, we're saying the nothingness of Eses Svidus Agnuzis, the only possibility, the Yechoilis Lesvidus. On the other hand, we're saying that the Ein Sof has a shaychus. It's the same sug. Gamba Ein Sof Shalmayim Eses Svidus, the Ein Sof itself, even before the Eses Svidus impression there. Which, in brackets, the mind, the water itself, Shaban in which the face will appear. Yeshli shaychus the Svidus. It has a connection to the same sug, which is why the Svidus can affect there. So effectively, it's the same level. What's the difference between the two levels? What's the difference between level? Is asking level 3 and level 2. Level 3, when the Eses Svidus are already present, and level 2, not atzmos, but level 2 in Ein Sof, the pshitas of Ein Sof, where there's a possibility of Eses Svidus Agnuzas, because at the end of the day, it's the same category. It's Hainohach. What's the mila of the Ein Sof at the level of where the Eses Svidus are just shemus, are just names? What's the mila over that where the Eses Svidus Agnuzas are actually impression, kavayachal there, where the way they exist there is also in Lepeil, is in Tachlis Habitul. And the Ein Sof, stop. Yeah, that's the shayla. Let's repeat it again. What are the two levels? There's the level, the low level, where the Eses Svidus Agnuzas actually appear. Then there's the pshitas. Now we'll call that, yeah. Yeah. And then there's the pshitas of the Ein Sof, which can receive it, because it can receive it, it's in the same sug, then it's at fundamentally the same level. What's the mile of the Ein Sof itself over the Eses Svidus Agnuzas as they are present at the level of shemus, of possibility? So that's level 1. Okay, my dear friends, I'm gonna have to, sorry, I want to be 100% clear. I'm gonna have to think this through again. There's Yechelis and Shaychus. That's the two things he's asking. What's the difference between the two? Yechel, possibility, and then Shaychus. The Ein Sof is Shaykh to Esesfiras Agnosis. That's the Esesfiras Agnosis. They appear in a way of Yechelis. What's the difference? One is in between. You have a Shaykh, you are related to it, or you have the possibility for it. What exactly is the difference between possibility and related? That's the question he's asking. I'm going to explain it better, God willing, on Monday. That's the Shaykh.
You have until Wednesday.
What's that?
Wednesday.
I got the Wednesday. Okay. So that's a Sfiris only a Cheles. That's correct. I'm saying it's correct. The Yasas Sfiris would have concluded a Cheles, like Shemus. The Ein Sof, though, is the same Geder by divine decree, so it has already a Shaychus. So this is the question. What's the difference in the Pshitus? What's the difference in the Pshitus of the divine when you say that the divine has the potential for an articulation or has the possibility for articulation in Chesed, Gevurah, etc., or it has a Shaychus articulation? It's a difference. And that's the two dargas. The lower darga is the Yechelis. The higher darga is the Shaychus. That's what we just said very clearly. That Ein Sof is Shaychus, the same sug. That's why the face can make an impression there. So if the Ein Sof is Shaykh, it's the same darga as, then it could possibly express itself. What's the difference? This is the question. That's correct. And that he's going to explain profoundly, very nuanced, the difference between Yechelis and Shaychus. And I'll give it to you in a word. I mean, I learned that through 2 nights ago. So the Chayres, Be'ez Hashem was saying is correct. We'll explain it better and we'll understand it better. But just to give you a heads up where we're going, the difference is that when you say Shaychus, it means you have a connection to me because I'm allowing it. Yechelis is already you. I could relate to you. That's the difference. I could relate to you. It's already granting you place, validity. I could relate to you. I could relate to you. Shaychus means I could allow you into my world. It's a different thing. It's bring you here because I decided. And Yechelis is already the possibility of coming down to your world. That's the general idea. And if we understand the Maila of Shaychus over Yechelis, it's a much higher level. Because the relationship is only because of Eibush deciding it should be. Whereas Yechelis already, the possibility of relating to you, there's a certain element of, there's a given that you are there. And I could relate to you. But Shaychus means I could create your identity here. It starts here. I could bring you into my world. I could allow you into my world. I could allow that inyan in my world. Whereas Yechelis already is, the direction is towards the other. That's in general, you have to understand that these are words, but we'll have some outline of where we're going, Be'ez Hashem, the next time we learn. You have homework. You have homework. There's 3 days to Shavuos, there's Shabbos, there's 2 days Shavuos, to learn at least till Ois Ches. To learn till that's what we're up to basically. To Ois Ches and to have it clear. How's that? When I first came to Montreal, from Shamedi, that is, our first Shavuos, 1991. So Shavuos night, I learned this mimer with late. We started, until we started. With Naftali, we sat, no, it was 4 hours we sat. I'm actually understood, I don't know, but it just came out then. When did it come out? The Maimed?
Yes.
That's how we learned it. Yeah, now that's how we learned it. It just came out for Yom Tov, and we sat till the morning, till past the morning. It was the first Shavuos stuck here in town. Okay, Yidden. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Achron Shabbos Achtos.